Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to the weekend preview, and Shorty will be running live today. I've just ducked out from the North Melbourne and Adelaide game from the TV telecast, just ducked out at half time to do this one. Of course, for those of you tuning in regularly, I got a full-time job in sports journalism and that, so it's taking up a reasonable amount of my time, and that mixed in with the fact that a bit of travel in Ballarat, I'm a little tight for time, especially as I just adjust to it. So, yeah, just as I've spoken about in the past, just looking to do it when I get a chance. Hence, I'll run live. You know, there's not as much preparation to this one. I'll be straight in bed after the footy, so hopefully this one all going to plan with my terribly slow internet. We can get this up by tonight and you guys can have a look, albeit it will be late, but you know, better late than say past the Friday deadline. But anyway, I'll just have a look through the teams here, and of course I've had a little bit of look before, but basically first up, I mean, I'll discuss mainly the Goldstein v Martin discussion that has been on a lot of people's lips, of course, with the fact that Nick Nat is out. Firstly, the buys, of course, Port Adelaide have it West Coast, Essendon, the Dogs, Sydney and Melbourne. Now, that's going to cause quite a few people trouble, I think. It's troubling myself, that's for sure. You know, Zorko is out, which I'll get to. But just from that, you've already got a guy like Robbie Gray, Nick Nat, who's injured anyway. Pritis has been relatively popular. Some still may have some bombers, especially Tipping Woody, McDonald Tipping Woody. Zach Merritt's another one. Libba, a lot will have Libba. A lot will have Marcus Adams. And a lot will have Hanbury, Parker, Franklin, and I even have McVeigh as well in there. And of course Melbourne, many will have, of course, Petrarca and Gawn. So there's no doubt that this, coupled with the fact of a few outs, this could be a real tough week. Now, Wells is out of the side, calf. Now, I would say trade. I traded him out a few weeks ago, and I'm not going to try and say that was a masterstroke, because I probably got that wrong, to be honest, because he scored great points. I didn't think he could be a top 6 or 7 forward. He's proven me wrong, but what I did know is that his body can let me down, and it has let many people down. He is well priced, so look, get whoever you like. Get Deledio, get Martin, get Montagna, Franklin, whoever you like. Just get a key player in that forward line into your side. Who else have we got? Nothing interesting from Adelaide. Not much interest there for the Pies or Dockers. Nah. Nothing much for Richmond either. Here we go. Brisbane, of course, Dean Zorko is out for personal reasons. Okay, I didn't realise that. Well, I'm not sure what that's about. You guys probably know more than me. I just heard on the radio on the drive home. Reece Matheson has come in, which will probably help some people. Of course, he's not going to score anything like Zorko, but could provide some reasonable coverage. And I would hold Zorko in particular, given it's for personal reasons. He's obviously got something on that's unfortunate, or not feeling too great himself, but I'm sure he'll be back in no time. The Giants, Sam Reid was out, which that hurts me, and Jacob Hopper will hurt a lot of people as well. They're both out, and nothing really comes in SuperCoach relevant, so that'll hurt. That will hurt, especially through these bye rounds where it can really sting you. It really can. So Nick Rewalt comes back, whether that's interesting for many people. Some it might be, others it won't. Tom Lee dropped, injured, but some may have him or trade him in. Excuse me. But as for the Hawthorn and Gold Coast game, Aaron Hall returns, which is great. Now Luke Hodge is back. That's not SuperCoach relevant, but the flow-on effect might be. Someone like Cade Stewart is on the extended bench there. And just looking at it, I reckon Howe will keep his spot. Duray will keep his spot. Hartung will surely keep his spot. Now, you got to say, you know, Will Langford, Stewart, even Brand has been decent. He's going to have to fight pretty hard to keep his spot there, I think. So, there are a few relevant guys from a SuperCoach perspective, but the take-home message for this week, guys, is just damn well get through it. I feel like that's probably motto number one throughout all bye rounds. Sometimes we get easier ones, other times we don't. And I think, you know, if you got a guy that you're 50-50 about trading out as a rookie price player, you know, someone like, I look at my team right now, Jaden Hunt, you know, he's getting close to peaking, he's plateaued for some time, has a buy, he's not doing me any favours, doesn't give me any guarantees to make more money, I may as well trade in a guy who's playing. So I've discussed that about how if you can trade out a guy before his buy for someone who's just had his buy, then you, in effect, you know, you have 29 players of your 30 that will have the buy. So that is how you can gain a little bit of an edge. You know, an example of that would be, we'll just use the Jaden Hunt example again. You trade him out, you've got some cash in the bank, you bring in Deledio. So you've missed Lids's buy last week, and you'll miss Hunt's. So that works, that wins for everyone. You get 2 solid weeks from a premium, and you would have got Hunt's 71 from last week before his buy. So that's being efficient. A lot of SuperCoach is about efficiency, so especially trading. If you can be really smart through these buy periods, then good luck to you and well done, you'll do nicely. Aside from that, really, you just got to look to simply get through it. I think there aren't many guys screaming out to be cut, and there aren't too many screaming out to come in. I think obviously Parker and Hanbury are dropping and looking like good prices soon, but then again they have the bye this week. You know, I think the defenders have been well documented who are the best there. You know, get in Doherty, get in Simpson, get in Shaw. You know, especially Doherty and Simpson who have had their buys. That's for sure. If you're looking at a Dangerfield or a Selwood or something like that, you might hold off because they've got the bye next week. It just depends. I try to give advice as a general rule, but over the bye periods, it's so individual to the actual side. It can come down to if you can have 19 players playing or 18 players playing, you might have the luxury to do that trade. You might have the luxury to cop a 0 next week for a premium this week. It's so individual over these bye periods, so I can't really give out just broad advice. But what you got to do is just try and, you know, trade in guys who have had their bye, trade out those peaked rookies, a la, you know, someone like even Ben Keys you may have had enough of. Now, he's not doing much for us, you might get rid of him. You know, I wouldn't really advise it for Petrarca, but I wouldn't totally say no either. You know, if you're looking at that and you're going, gee, I'm going to cop a 0, I'm ranked in the top 1,000, Petrarca, do I trade him, do I hold him, he'll still probably make money. You probably get rid of him. Again, for that, you know, Martin, Montagna, Deledio, all those sort of guys. Aaron Hall, you know, if you want to be creative, I probably wouldn't say Aaron Hall, to be honest, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So, but one discussion point that has been heavily debated in things that I've read is Stefan Martin. He scores 142, 110 average or whatever it was last year, and he's priced at 370. Now that would be somewhat juicy no matter what, but the fact that Nick Nat is sitting at 521 and a lot of people probably still have him or want to get rid of him, and a lot of people would have been waiting on Goldstein to drop, which I strongly condone. I mean, I've got him my side. I'm still thinking about Martin. I want to see how Goldstein goes tonight, but I was listening to Crocker pre-game. He said he had a couple of tough weeks with the knees, you know, strapped him up, didn't get too much training into him. He said he's back into solid training now, and his best footy should be in front of him. Now, that could be coach speak. Goldstein looks like he's getting around the ground a little bit more at the moment. I think, I haven't looked at the stats, but at halftime, I'd have it a guess he's sitting on around 9 to 10 touches, which has been his total in recent weeks at times. So, keep the faith with that, because it'll be a straight swap for Nick Nat and Goldstein. But the concern you must consider is Martin the real deal. Now, I'm still racking my brains. I'll probably rack my brains on the way up to Ballarat tomorrow. But you can pocket 150k. Now, what can we bank on? Goldstein is a guy you want to have. Lock that in. What else can we bank on? Nick Nat won't be back for a long time. Got to go. We know Goldstein will be around Nick Nat's price. Straight swap. But how important will it be to have 150,000 now? Go to your bench, have a look at it. where can you generate that cash? You know, most sides will want to upgrade 1, 2, 3 more players on their field, depending where you're at. Look at your bench and go, can I get that job done? Can I get 22 premiums on my field? Maybe even a couple of extras if I want to get greedy. You know, how's Sam Collins tracking? How's Petrarca tracking? You know, how are these guys going? Matheson, Stewart, are they going to play? Will they generate cash quick enough? That's the questions you got to ask yourself. Now, my thoughts on Martin exactly is don't get too sucked in. Hence, why I would probably wait a week. Now, I know what you're going to say. Shorty's break-even's 31. Why would I wait? Well, I'd hate for you to trade him in just because a nice break-even and one good score against Jonathan Giles. Now, I know it was good. Trent West got dropped. I know, that's great. But I'd love to see a little bit of body of work. What's the worst case scenario? You know, you get him, he drifts back to that sort of... I'd be disappointed with 90 average. You know, you can't take that at this stage. When other teams have Gawn and Goldstein and you have Gawn and Martin, you're probably losing 20-odd points a week. You can't accept that. So I give it another week against actual opposition. Who have they got? They've got Richmond. You know, that's not a star-studded ruckman, but it's a ruckman who's been going okay. So see what he produces. If you get a chance to watch it, then watch it. But, you know, if he scores 110, he goes up a bit. He probably got to 410 or something like that. You can still pocket over 100,000. And if he does fail, you know, then that's all cool. Goldstein's come down beautifully. The stars align, bring him in. And if Martin does go well, then you can bank with confidence. And if he doesn't, if that 142 is a blip on the radar in a month's time, then you'll be kicking yourself if you pull the trigger. So I'm not saying I won't pull the trigger on Martin at some stage, but I will be waiting and seeing and just, you know, sussing out my options as to risk versus reward. So I felt like that was probably the main talking point for the week. My mind has been absolutely occupied by work, travel, finding accommodation, things like that. So forgive me if I've missed a certain topic that you would have loved me to talk about, but, you know, unfortunately the real prep work just hasn't been available for me. I appreciate the comments from you guys when you say it doesn't matter when it'll be up, I'll watch it anyway. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the well wishes with the jobs as well, and always appreciate the comments. Still looking to get to all of them. Expect delays, you know, a bit like the Westgate. You can expect a few delays from Shorty at the moment, but I'll keep cracking in. We'll have videos coming at the, you know, round about the normal time. Same stock standard setup. Hopefully I've given you some decent advice, a few things to think about, and some genuine SuperCoach buy advice that we can never get enough of, because it doesn't matter how many times you go through them. I feel like you can learn little bits and pieces about how to go through them time and time again in the best possible way. So that's enough for me. I thought I'd do this live and probably do it quickly, and all of a sudden I've been talking for about 13 or 14 minutes. There you go. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a good week in SuperCoach. I'm looking at probably a 0 or 2 myself, so hopefully I'm not too salty for Monday's press conference. But good luck on the weekend. Hope your side wins. Hope your AFL side wins. And I'll see you soon.